Welcome to 15 Minute Theatre, the only review show that squeezes a whole production into 900 seconds. The date is the 31st of July 2020, and we've just seen Amadeus online. Open the house. Yo-ho, Vicki.
Ahoy, Jim Bobolob.
How are you?
I'm alright, thanks. How are you?
It's alright, I'm alright. It's alright and I'm alright.
Yeah?
It's been a while, hasn't it?
I know.
Should we explain why?
You do it.
Well, we haven't had coronavirus, that's on the plus side.
No.
On the negative side, we got a bit bored of watching online theatre, didn't we?
I just found it... Well, it made me a little bit sad that I wasn't in the theatre.
Mm-hmm.
And I found some of the production we watched didn't really transfer very well to the small screen.
No. However, we have dipped back in because, you know, we want to keep the podcast going as much as we can. And we're hoping maybe we'll get to see some theatre later on in the year.
Fingers crossed.
Well, things are opening up a bit more now.
Yeah.
They're doing like drive-in theatres, but I don't think they've been very successful.
Well, it's not the same, is it?
It's not really. Anyway, shall we talk a little bit about Amadeus?
Amadeus.
I'll give you a little fact file, shall I?
I wish you would.
It was written by Paul Schaefer, directed by Michael Longhurst, musical director Simon Slater. The choreography was Imogen Knight. The designer was Chloe Lamford. Notable actors, Adam Gillan as Mozart, but the star of the show, I would say, is Salieri as Lucian. Oh, look what I did here. I can't let that go.
And I like that you put Salieri as, whereas actually Lucian as Salieri.
Oh, yeah, okay.
There's too many errors.
The venue was at the National Theatre. It ran for 2 hours and 55 minutes, including the interval. Vicki, while I find the name of the actor, would you like to give us a synopsis?
Okay, so it's based in Vienna. The main character, I would argue, is Salieri, he's like a court-appointed composer. He's all right, but he's maybe not the greatest. And then this young upstart Mozart appears, and he takes a real dislike to him, and basically wants to ruin his career and make life pretty bad for him. Okay,
and Salieri is played by Lucian Mzamati.
Yeah.
See, I wrote it correctly. It's just hard to say.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, what did you think?
Well, I have to admit that I was coming here to do the podcast and I ran out of time and I only watched the first 2 hours of it.
It's disappointing seeing as though the point of you coming here was to do the podcast.
I know, but I had to do some work as well.
Okay.
So I enjoyed the bit that I saw.
I loved it very much. I really wanted to see this, and we never got around to seeing it when it was at the National. But I thought even though it's quite long, it moved along at quite a nice pace.
Yeah.
And you know, the National do film things well. They're used to filming, I guess, because they do National Theatre Live and stuff like that. So
yeah, well, I think with this, because there's quite a lot going on the stage. There is orchestra members walking around the stage with instruments, and yeah, there's a lot to see, but they sort of framed it so you saw the good bits. Yeah, I think they filmed it really well.
Yeah, and I mean, I really like Mozart. I'm not really a big classical musical aficionado.
He wrote some good tunes,
but he did write the good tunes, yeah. And they were all in it. All my favourites. The one that goes, ha, 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 ha. Yeah, I like that one. And the Requiem one. It's all good. And the musicians were also performing a little bit. I thought,
a bit of acting going on.
Yeah, I thought that was remarkable. I thought
the
pace of it, because Mozart, as you know, was quite an exciting composer.
Yeah.
Way above his time, ahead of his time.
Child prodigy.
And I think they channeled that in the vibe and the movement and the feel and the pace.
Yeah. One thing I found a bit strange was that, so the main actors all were dressed in period costume, apart from Mozart was wearing Doc Martens.
Yeah.
And
I couldn't work that out. I was wondering if his feet were too large.
I think it's just they were trying to make him seem like he was a bit cool, and
right.
not like the rest of them. But then all the orchestra were dressed in sort of like modern black clothing.
Well, that's because they still play Mozart's music to this very day, Vicky.
Is that why
You
they
didn't
made that
understand
choice?
that,
I feel like that's not why they made that choice.
What do you think of the staging?
It was good. It were good.
Yeah.
It was in the big theatre with the revolving stage. It didn't really revolve, did it?
It didn't need to revolve.
No.
I don't think it's a prerequisite.
Yeah, the sort of the pieces that they brought on for the set were quite minimal. They'd bring in a bit of furniture,
But they had
piano.
the permanent set of the orchestra, I guess, didn't they?
Yeah.
And they did some great inventive things with the orchestra as well.
Yeah, there was a lady lying down at one point playing the violin.
Well, there was a bit, I can't remember the name of the, I think it was Requiem Mass or something, where they played it kind of slow and weird, and it was when it was at a party.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the New Year's Eve party. I thought that was amazing.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about the actors.
Yeah.
Let's just focus on the three actors. We should have mentioned the name of the lady, really, because I thought Mozart's wife was great.
I thought Mozart's wife was great. I loved Salieri.
Look, he was on stage, I think, virtually the whole time.
It was his piece, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it was breathtaking. I thought it was good.
Yeah, he was really good.
He opened with like a long 10-minute monologue.
Yeah.
Which worked incredibly well, and he just, I just think he gave a startling performance.
Sort of got crosser and crosser as it went on, didn't he?
Yeah, and he really conveyed, because unlike you, I've seen the film from the 80s.
Yeah.
And I think what this did was conveyed much more why Salieri was so angry. I mean, I don't know if it's factually correct.
Well, nobody really knows what happened.
No, but if it didn't happen, this Salieri guy has been really badly treated over the years.
Yeah, he was certainly a jealous fellow, wasn't he?
But I loved the way he reacted against God, and that became the focus.
Yeah.
That God was using Mozart as a vessel to make this
and he didn't
music.
feel that Mozart was worth it because he was a bit of a cad.
Yeah, and I love the way that no one really got Mozart's music except Salieri.
Yeah.
And he said this line, something about, God, you only blessed me with ears.
Yeah.
Do you know what that meant?
He could listen to it, but he couldn't write it.
Yes.
What do you think of Mozart?
Right, well, this is a bit more difficult. I think he was good in the role, but the role was to be quite annoying. And he had this voice, which he kept using all the time. And I don't know.
I found him incredibly irritating.
It was a bit irritating. But then Mozart, the point of him was to be a bit irritating, but he did this thing with his feet. It's hard to explain over the airwaves, but where he does like a little skip before he stepped off.
Yeah.
He did that all the time. And
skippy and jumpy.
Yeah.
But then I guess if they're trying to like show that this guy was a real annoyance to Salieri.
Yeah.
So I guess they tried to make him as annoying
and
as possible.
The bit I found quite hard to take, which you haven't bothered to see, was his bit at the end where he was dying and stuff.
Well, I'm going to watch it.
Oh, okay, sorry, spoiler.
Okay, well, I know he dies. He's not alive now, is he?
Okay, any standout moments for you?
I can't think of one in particular. Can you?
Well, I'm going to go back to the New Year's Eve party. Oh, well, I quite liked the duologue, I'm going to call it, between Salieri and Mozart's wife.
When Salieri was trying it on with her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean...
she was very good, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was great. She was great. And she was someone who wasn't sure at first, but she became more and more likeable for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, lovely. All right. Okay. Anything else you want to say? The only thing I want to say, sorry, is it was really nice to see an audience full of people. And I thought, gosh, were we ever going to see that again?
Well, when the vaccine comes in.
Vaccine. They haven't managed to cure the cold, have they?
Well, let's not harp on about that now.
Oh, okay. All right, so let's take a break and then we'll come back and score it.
Okay.
Okay.
There's a lot of paper rustling going on.
No.
James is trying to sound professional.
Well, I've got here filling the void what we've been doing to pass the never-ending boredom, but it's become the new normal, which I hate that phrase.
I haven't been doing that much recently.
Yeah.
I've been watching a bit of telly.
Yeah. So
I'm playing with my kittens. I've got some
kittens.
kittens.
Yeah, you've got kittens.
Oh my god, they're so cute.
Yeah, that's nice. And then we've heard that cats now can get COVID.
Yeah, well, let's not harp on about that. Let's not be Negatrons.
Right, shall we score this baby then?
Yeah.
All right, performances.
Well, I mean, Salieri's amazing, but Mozart let me down. I'm going to go for an 8.
Oh, I've given it an 8 as well.
Ooh.
Staging and technical, I'm going to give it an 8.
I'll go for a 9.
Okay, narrative and plot.
Well, I didn't see the end. But it was very good. I'm going to go for an 8.
Okay, originality.
What did you go for?
No, sorry, a 9.
Okay, good.
Originality, I'm going to give it an 8.
Well, I'm going to give it a 9 because I thought it was really well staged.
And you haven't seen the film.
Yeah.
Choreography.
Well, it wasn't Dancey McDancington, was it?
No.
But
in fact, they nearly tried to ban the ballet. Did you see that bit?
No.
God's sake.
But the way that it was very well coordinated, the way that they all moved around. So I'm going to go for a 9.
Okay. Costumes.
What did you give it, choreography?
Have I not said?
I don't think
an
so.
8.
Okay. Maybe you did.
Yeah, I think so. Oh, I'll start with costumes then. 8.
Yeah, I'll go for an 8 because I was a bit annoyed about the Doc Martens and the...
Music.
Well, it was beautiful, wasn't it? Should I go 10?
I've given it a 10. And was it worth it?
I'm going to go for a 9.
I've given it a 9 as well. We are on the same page.
What's it got, Jimbo Blob?
It gets a star rating of 4.31, which puts it in second place, just below Endgame. Gosh, that seems a long time ago.
Yeah.
And above Wind in the Willows.
So how many of the things were online?
Well, if you notice, I've colour-coded it. You won't be able to see that on the radio.
Oh, okay.
But we saw 2 things before COVID. We saw Endgame and 3 things. The Process and Sandy Talks Week National Treasure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but all the rest have been online.
The bottom of our leaderboard is currently Josephine's Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat.
Oh. Awful. Followed closely by that Corden fella doing One Man, Two Governors.
Oh, yeah, a bit hammy.
And even Jesus Christ, his stuff quite low. But Endgame's song right at the top, and I think this is respectable as well.
It was very good.
Yeah, thank God that's the theatre bell.
Whew, what a relief.
Keep your distance, and I'll see you next time.
All right.
Oh no, I've got something to say.
Oh, what have you got to say? It's better to burn out than to fade away. Anyone who doesn't know Highlander will not get that reference. Oh yeah. So the curtain's down, the theatre's dark, as it has been for months. And that was 15-minute theatre. Good night. Good night.